for me Shibari is not sexual or even erotic, and it kind of puts me down a little bit when people come and comments my picture like, oh, this is so beautiful and so poetic and then so erotic. Like, okay, you have the right to think whatever you want, but more and more I can see that more people can understand what I want to show with Shibari, and more people are finding it interesting that way, that I want to show, because it's different. It's less heavy erotic, it's less heavy sexual, you know. It's more like the way how I want to express, is the way how I want to see Shibari, and I can see more people enjoying it and feeling the same way, because they start to feel represented. You know, the new people and other people who is used to Shibari, they start to feel represented, because I try to show a different perspective with like natural lights and people more relaxed and more like into their own thing, you know, and both of us into our own thing, enjoying the music, enjoying the moment, the ropes and everything. It's a way of communicating with people, not only with the person I'm tying, but also with other people I want to show my work, because I consider myself an artist. I paint, I do performances, etc. So for me, Shibari is all that together. It's very difficult to explain in a few words what it is for me, you know. It's my way of saying things in general. Shibari for me is that moment where I feel like I can focus on that only moment. Everywhere else, like the sounds, the noises, etc. doesn't bother me. I'm just like in that moment focused in that person, because of the safety, because of I want to give a good experience, you know, and I want to give my best. So I'm really focused on the moment, and it's the only time where I'm not speaking too much because I'm very verbal. So I like it because I find very hard for me to connect with people in that very sensual, erotic way, or very like a non-verbal communication stuff. So for me, I can have this moment where I don't have to say much directly, but I can say a lot with the way how I tie them and the way how I do ropes, and it makes me think a lot when I'm not doing ropes, how I can make someone feel while I'm tying them. So for me, it's a personal research while I'm tying. So it's a moment of focus, like a mantra, you know, almost like a meditative mode, but very active, because I'm doing a lot of activity stuff. Even if I know the person or not, we can build something together, like a friendship, a type of close relationship in that moment. And I want to build up with time, you know. Next time I want it to be even nicer. Next time I want to be even nicer. I want to keep meeting that person and do ropes with them. Talking about like BDSM and pain, like sadomasochism and what could be Shibari, I think a good question a lot of people ask is like, what's different about bondage and Shibari? Like, there's a lot of things that they're different and a lot of things that are similar. But one thing I find very interesting is that Shibari can be something by itself. You can take Shibari alone and pull it by it together. That's why we have like a workshop only about Shibari, or people who are interested only about Shibari. When you see people who is doing bondage, they're also interested about to do it with other things. You know, exhibitionism, sadomasochism, etc., like other practices around. And for me, Shibari doesn't have to be connected with pain, because you can tie things that are quite fluffy. Let's say fluffy Shibari when it's not really painful, it's really like comfortable and nice. You can do that with different people. And you don't have to connect it with pain, you don't have to connect it with BDSM, which it's fine if you do. You know, if you like it, it's totally cool. If you don't, it's also cool. But for me, I find interesting how we connected pain so much to BDSM, and we forget that we actually live in pain a lot of times in our own lives. When we are living through life, we feel pain in different ways. We inflict pain to ourselves in different ways. We receive pain in different ways. And I think people should remember, when they are into the Shibari scene or BDSM scene, that pain is not only related to Shibari, and we can receive it in a positive way, we can receive it in a negative way. And it doesn't have to be this extreme thing. You know, I like to use pain, not like inflicting it, but I like to make things a bit uncomfortable sometimes, and to make the person remember, like, this is supposed to be challenging, you know? Like, if it hurts or not, I don't care, but I want you to feel challenged. And when it's next to your limit, I want you to let me know, and we slow down. I don't want to cross a limit, you know? It's something that a lot of people get confused about pain and masochism and BDSM and Shibari. I want to challenge the person.